3 years of learning Japanese all by myself, I think it's time for the ultimate test. 8 days in Japan, no English, no translation software. I plan to hit all the seichi of my favorite games and anime, meet up with my Japanese friends that I met online, and most importantly, find out if my Japanese actually works. Let's get to it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally happening. But as I approach what's supposed to be a smooth flight, I realize there's one tiny problem that might make me homeless for a night. Let me explain by first showing you my schedule. So it's gonna be an 8-day trip where I spend the first 4 days in Tokyo, then the next 2 days in Kanagawa, and the final 2 days back in Tokyo. So I booked my hotels like this, and this, right? Except apparently I'm an idiot because on this night I will have nowhere to sleep. My only solace is that I pre-bought 2 SIM cards that work in Japan while I was in Hong Kong. So by the time I land in Narita, I should be able to immediately connect to the internet to fix the hotel booking issue. Or so I thought. 4 hours on the world's cheapest flight later, I land in Narita and the SIM card just refuses to work.
やべえこれピンチかもちょっと香港で買った SIM カード使えないみたい全然インターネット接続できないまあ空港だし絶対手伝ってくれる人がいるでしょ探そう
Not so fast, innocent little me. You gotta get through immigration and customs first. So here I am staring down my first boss fight, the immigrations officer. But you see, I came prepared for this, because 2 weeks before the trip, I intentionally searched up words that will be used at the airport and train stations and put them into my own. So I was set to go here.
Next passport, please.
はい、お願いします。
お？日本語大丈夫ですか？
はい、大丈夫です。
香港から来ましたか？
はい。
旅の目的は何ですか？
観光です。
滞在期間はどのぐらいですか？日本に何日間いますか
？8時間です。The guy looked at me, trying not to laugh. I was so embarrassed, but the guy understood what I meant anyway, and I passed through immigration just fine. Also, I didn't get Jouzu. A win's a win. Okay, so now that I've claimed my luggages, it's time to get the SIM card issue resolved. Fortunately, there were many places that were selling SIM cards, and this one that I had SoftBank and Docomo written on it. So I looked around for a place that had SoftBank written on it and just asked about the SIM card. Turns out you just gotta turn on data roaming, which is always really scary because if you do something wrong, this could cost up to tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, so now I can connect to the internet, but I don't really want to spend time writing an email to the hotel yet because I'm not sure how to get to the hotel in the first place. I figured I'd probably need a Suica card, so I hit the Suica store only to be told that there's no more Suica left. I instead get a Passmo passport, which basically does the same job. Armed with this, it's time to look at how to get to my hotel in Akihabara, the anime central of Japan. I ask around and find out that the train called the Narita Express is ready to go in 6 minutes. I go to the Kenbaiki, the ticket machine, and get prompted with a language choice. Despite the tight time limit and it being my first time using this machine, I stuck to my challenge and chose Nihongo. It was actually surprisingly easy to use. First, I had to choose the Narita Express, then I had to write my end destination, and it gave me the instructions to ride to Tokyo Station first, and then from Tokyo Station, switch over to Akihabara. With tickets in hand and only 2 minutes left, I quickly rushed my way over to the Narita Express hold boarding platform.
これやるな完全日本語で成田エクスプレスの切符買っちゃった
Alright, so now I'm on the Narita Express safely on my way to Tokyo. I quickly shoot off an email in Japanese to the hotel letting them know that I want to extend for 1 night stay, and I finally get to take a breather and enjoy the view that Chiba has to offer. I really struggled to put into words how I was feeling here, but I guess the best way to describe it was, wow, I'm finally here.
OK 東京駅到着でもこっからどうやって秋葉原に行くか全然わからんね
I was a bit confused by Google Maps, so I had no choice but to ask this random Ekiin lady that just so happened to walk past.
すみません
秋葉原に行きたいんですが。
あ、はい。どうやって行きますか？
はい、それ聞きたかったんです。
いや、どうやって行きますか？
それ、ちょっとわからなくて。
何番線ですか？
いや、その、行き方全然わからなくて。
山手線なら4番線なんだけど。
あ、4番線ですか。はい。ありがとうございます。はい。What was that? I don't know what that was. But the info was solid, and 4番線 did indeed get me to Akihabara.
よし、秋葉原到着。まあもっと撮影したいけど、まずホテルに行くかな。
My hotel is a 9-minute walk away from the station, but I've already done my homework and familiarized myself with the route on Google Maps, so I was able to get there no problem. Upon arriving at the hotel, I was expecting to be greeted by the Japanese staff member whom I've been exchanging emails with for the past hour, but to my surprise, it was actually a foreigner who was working there. I of course still continued my challenge and hit them with the check-in onegaishimasu, before finally being able to settle down in my room.
疲れたわ。あと1時半ぐらい、歌舞伎町で久しぶりに会った香港の友人と晩飯です。お楽しみだわ。ついに日本に来た。
With an hour and a half to kill before I make my way to my first seichi, I spent the time just unpacking and unwinding. I also decided to do a quick room tour, but
ねえ、このトイレやばくない？ちっちゃ。一人暮らしはちょうどかもしれないけど、いやーなんかちっちゃいね。
It was my first time ever using these sort of prefab modular toilets, and it was kind of weird, not gonna lie.
ここのスペースでさ、これしたりするの？これ狭すぎて全然できない。これしかできない。あとこれさ、これチンでかいかもしれないけど、これね、接触しそう。
And I guess it's been way too many years since I last saw a bathtub because this happened.
いや、兵所恐怖症の人は絶対使えないだろう。まあ、お風呂が浴びれるね、これ。
I know this whole room might seem a bit shit, but I mean, I paid for a cheap hotel and I'm not really one to complain, so it's fine. Either way, now that everything's sorted, it's time to make my way over to Shinjuku Kabukicho. Of course, just like every other normal person, I got lost in Shinjuku Station for like 8 minutes or so. When I finally found my way out, I was pretty lost until I noticed this Don Quixote in the distance, and from then on, I knew exactly where to go. I can't believe I actually made it to Kabukicho. This place is so much bigger than what it feels like in the Yakuza games. Just standing under the arch, I found myself paralyzed and getting the chills. I'm sure you can tell how excited I am because even just rewatching this footage, I'm getting so pumped up. Despite it being my first time here, it feels like I've already spent so many years walking around the virtual streets of Kamurocho and I've made so many memories here. I mean, the whole reason I wear the white suit and red shirt is because of Kiryu. You seriously need to try Yakuza 0 if you're learning Japanese because not only is Kabukicho recreated so perfectly that you don't need Google Maps, but the story is absolutely thrilling and soul-crushing at the same time. By the way, the friend that I'm meeting also plays Yakuza and specifically chose this izakaya restaurant, not just so that I can get a taste of authentic Japanese food, but also because this location is the exact location of your detective agency in the Judgment series. So when I met up with him, he was immediately like, I knew you'd get here no problem, and I was like, man, this is so cool! Unfortunately, tonight is not the night to explore because I don't have enough time. And also, Kabukicho is on the more dangerous side of Japan, so walking around alone at night isn't exactly the brightest idea. Also, I actually had a tout guy come up to me and went like, but I just pretended not to hear him. But anyway, back to the restaurant. My friend who's from Hong Kong moved to Japan like 5 years ago and currently works in Japan. So he's got way more experience than me and decided that this izakaya style restaurant would be perfect to introduce me to Japan. My friend also knew that I wanted to practice my Japanese, so we used the Japanese menu instead. On the menu, I had a moment because literally like 3 days ago, I was talking to my Japanese friends about wasashi or horse sashimi. So this is wasashi. It it literally tasted like meat. I don't know how else to describe it. Once we were done with dinner, I made my way back to the hotel and immediately died. But just as I thought I'd get a break, tomorrow I'll be meeting my online Japanese friends in person for the first time, and we'll be hitting several major locations all in a single day. I also got locked in a room with a serial killer and had to use my Japanese skills to escape. So click over here to find out what happens tomorrow.